Hello students, today we'll take a poem from our English textbook, Beehive, and the name of the poem is Wind. We all know that wind is a natural phenomena. In this poem, the poet talks to the wind. The power of wind has been described as the poet says that the wind is destructive. He has linked the destructive power of the wind to the adversities of life and says that the weak people break down, but stronger people emerge out of adversities stronger. The poem gives an important message that we should be mentally tough and physically strong in order to survive the hardships of life. A weak person breaks down like a weak building and crumbles. We must make these destructive forces our friends with our strength and determination. Wind, wind, come softly. Don't break the shutters of the windows. Don't scatter the papers. Don't throw down the books on the shelf. There, look what you did. You threw them all down. You tore the pages of the books. You brought rain again. You are very clever at poking fun at weaklings. Here, poking fun means making fun of something. Weakling, a person who is weak. So in the first stanza, the poet is talking to the wind. He asks the wind to come softly. So he is saying that the wind should not be very strong, loud. It should be soft and subtle. Then he says that the wind is very powerful. It is destructive. It breaks the shutters of the windows and scatters the papers when the wind is very powerful. All the books which are kept on the shelf fall down. So here the poet is describing the power of the wind. Then he says to the wind to look at the destruction that it has done. Whenever there is a strong wind, all the things that are weak, like small plants, tiny children, etc., they all get scattered and they can even fall and get hurt. We can say that in the initial part of the poem, the poet is referring to wind as a young child. He is saying that it should come softly just like a small child does. In the later part, we come to know that the wind is destructive just like a youth, just like a young boy or a young girl who is full of energy, violence and destruction. Frail crumbling houses, crumbling doors, crumbling rafters, crumbling wood, crumbling bodies, crumbling lives, crumbling hearts. What do you mean by crumbling? Falling or to cause to fall and break something. So crumbling refers to falling or to cause something to break. Rafters are sloping beam with support the roof of the building. Here the word crumbling is repeated so many times to lay stress that everything crumbles in the face of a strong wind. So the writer is saying that when the wind is very powerful, it is very strong. It leads to the breakage of everything. Houses which are weak fall. Doors which are weak fall. The beams on which the roofs of the building are supported, they also fall. All the wooden structures fall. All bodies of people fall. Animals, lives, hearts. So he is saying that everything crumbles. Everything that is weak reacts by falling down and breaking in the face of adversity. So the poet is saying that whenever a weak person faces any adversity or challenges in life, he breaks down and falls. The wind god winnows and crushes them all. Winnows, what do you mean by winnows? Winnows means to break the grain free of the chaff. Separate grain from husk by blowing on it. Winnowing of seeds while threshing and winnowing is a part of activity which is done in the farm. It's a farming activity. So the wind god winnows and crushes them all. That means he separates the chaff from the grain, what is useful and what is not useful, the weak things he makes to fly. The poet is addressing to the wind as wind god in this above line. And he is saying that the powerful god of wind winnows, that means he sifts all those people, and those people who are weak fall down and get crushed. So here a comparison is made between wheat and people. Just like we winnow the wheat to separate the grain from chaff, the wind god separates the strong people from the weak people. When there is a strong wind, all the things that are weak fall and get crushed. He won't do what you tell him. So come, let's build strong homes. Let's join the doors firmly. Practice to firm the body. Make the heart steadfast. Do this, and the wind will be friend with us. What do you understand by steadfast? Means firm. The poet wants us to make friends with the wind, that is, the adversities in our lives. He says that the problems will not listen to us, they will come. So we should be prepared. In preparation, we should build strong homes and close the doors of our house firmly so that the wind cannot get into. And then he says that we should also make our bodies strong and hearts firm to face these challenges. And then once we are strong enough, all the challenges will be like friends. We will not feel that they are troublesome. The wind blows out weak fires. He makes strong fires roar and flourish. His friendship is good. We praise him every day. Meaning of flourish is to grow. The poet has kept the wind on a pedestal or at a particular height. He is revering the wind as a wind god. So the wind has been kept at a particular height. He is comparing the wind to God. He says that wind is God and we praise wind every day. He adds that everything that is weak gets finished off in the face of strong wind. And all the things that are strong flourish and grow to become stronger. He is giving us a very important message that we should not feel bad that we are facing so many challenges and adversities in life. We should make ourselves physically and mentally strong to face these challenges. And once we are strong enough, we will overcome the challenges, we will become friends with them, and then we will be happy that we had these challenges in our life because they help us become stronger and better. Let's pick up some literary devices from the poem. The rhyming scheme. The entire poem is written in free verse. There is no rhyme scheme in the poem. The literary device used are as follows. Anaphora. When a word is repeated at the start of two or more consecutive lines, it is the device of anaphora. So what do we understand by anaphora? Anaphora is a figure of speech when a word is repeated at the start of two or more consecutive lines. Okay. For example, wind comes softly. Don't, right? The don't are being repeated. So the don'ts are the anaphoras given in this poem. Don't break the shutters of the windows. Don't scatter the papers. Don't throw down the books. So don't is an anaphora. Lines 2, 3 and 4 begins with don't. Line 6, 7 and 8 begin with you. So we have two sets of anaphoras. Line 2, 3, 4 don't, and line 6, 7, 8 you. These are anaphoras. Then the second figure of speech that we can pick out from the poem is personification. Wind has been personified. When the poet says you are, he is referring to wind as you, that means he is treating wind as a person. So when we give a human quality to something which is inanimate, something that has no life, we term this as a figure of speech, we term it as a personification. So wind has been personified. When the poet says you are, he is referring to wind as you, that means he is treating wind as a person. Then we also have repetition in this poem. The word crumbling is repeated many times to lay emphasis. The poet wants to say that the wind crushes everything that is weak. That is why he repeats the word crumbling. Then the fourth figure of speech that we can pick up from the poem is alliteration. Alliteration is the repetition of consonant sounds in close connection. Example, wind, winnows, won't, want. The sound of W is repeated here. So we also have alliteration as a figure of speech in this poem. Then we have symbolism. What does symbolism mean? Symbolism means that the thing refers to some other thing. We are talking of wind, but wind is actually difficulties here. So that's a symbolism. So the poet is referring difficulties in the symbol of wind. Symbolism means that the things refers to some other thing. Wind is a symbol. It refers to the challenges in life. The poet is using wind as a symbol for the adversities in life. So let's summarize the poem as far as we can understand. The first part of the poem describes the action of the wind. The poet asks the wind to come softly. He requests the wind not to break the shutters of the windows, not to scatter the papers and throw down the books from the shelf. But the wind throws the books and tears the pages. The poet says that the wind makes a mockery of weaklings. It brings down frail houses, crumbling doors, rafters, and even weak hearts. It crushes everything that is weak. The poet advises us to be strong. Only then can we save ourselves from the wind. We should build strong homes with firm doors. Our bodies and hearts should also be strong. It is the way of the world to kick the weak and to be friends with the strong. The wind blows out the weak fires but makes the strong fire roar and flourish. Thus, the poem conveys the idea that nobody cares for the weak. Even the wind is on the side of the strong people. We must make ourselves strong to become successful and overcome challenges in life. Okay, so I hope the poem now is clear to you all. It's a short poem. I will try to add some more poems in this class so that we can make use of the time that is allotted to us.